Welcome to day 19 of Project 41, and tonight is special because I have none other than Paula Buck from the Big Island Farm Sanctuary who's going to join us here in just a few minutes. So we'll let some folks start rolling in, and feel free to make sure you ask some questions of Paula. She's going to share all things that are going on with her incredible sanctuary and what she's working on. So just as I had Randy Gentry on from the Cows Come Home Sanctuary about a week ago. It was a week ago. Today's Monday, so worked out really well. So Paula's going to join us here in just a minute. So one of the things you get with this, the way this works, it's a little technology challenging, but it works out pretty well, and I think it's nice to be able to get people together and talk to some of my friends to be able to do this and provide you guys an opportunity to be able to ask questions of some of these incredible women who are running these sanctuaries that need our support. So we'll give Paula just a minute. I hope everyone has had a wonderful Monday. It has been fantastic for me. Really excited about this. Bear with me just a second here. Paula has requested to join, so I'm going to bring her in. And hey, Paula.
Hi.
How are you doing today?
I'm fabulous. How are you?
I can't complain. So it's always tough when we're 5-6 hours apart. It was a good catch on you the other day to notice that I posted about our time change.
Yeah.
So that means Hawaii does not follow the daylight savings shenanigans?
Nope, no daylight saving shenanigans. So it's 3 o'clock here in the afternoon right now, and you're getting ready to go to bed soon.
Yeah, it's I tell you, it's a pain. Every fall, every spring, time change. I tell you who it messes up the worst. I mean, it's a pain in the ass on me, but the worst are the kids, especially our 4-year-old. He is just when he loses that hour, he can just drag ass for a week. So
yeah, I remember those days.
so glad you're able to join me and find some
Thank
time
you.
in your busy schedule. I really appreciate that.
Thanks. I was hoping to give you guys a beautiful view out at the sanctuary, but we live in the boonies and we have Wi-Fi or satellite Wi-Fi, and sometimes it cooperates and other days it doesn't. Today's a really windy day, so I had to drive into town. So you get my car.
Well, you get my garage, so it's not like anything pretty here either. So, I included you on my birthday fundraiser for Project 41 because I really appreciate what you're doing as far as all of your activism, raising awareness for these incredible animals, giving them homes, showing people what, a cow and a pig really do and what they want, showing their personality, showing the love and compassion toward these animals. So, that's why I included you on this. And what I'd like of you, if you don't mind, if you'd share just a bit of how your story got started for those who have not heard it yet.
Yes, I will. Absolutely. My story started back in October of 2017. I was eating the keto diet. I throw that in because I feel like it's a really important thing. So if you know what the keto diet is, I was basically eating all animal meat all the time, and that was it. And my daughter, who was turning 17 shortly, she wanted to go visit a local sanctuary where she could rub pig bellies and cuddle cows and hug chickens and things like that. And so, sounded like a great time. So my mom drove over from Utah and we made a day of it. And I really just thought it was going to be a fun day of petting some animals. And that was going to be it. And it literally changed my life. And it doesn't matter how many times I tell the story. I think I said this the last time I told you, and every time I do a tour, I say this exact same thing. It does not matter how many times I tell the story, it tears me up because it literally changed my life, and I just did not expect it to.
Yes.
We met so many amazing animals that were part of a backyard butcher rescue, goats and sheep, pigs who should have been sent to slaughter that were not, and just amazing. If you can imagine a 600-pound pig that just lays there and lets you rub its belly, just amazing animals. Horses who'd been in trail riding industries and movie industries that were now garbage, and had found rescue at this place and were now loved on. But it was one cow in particular, is actually a steer, that just rocked my world, man. He was about 6 feet tall at the shoulder, and he weighed about 3,000 pounds. And my daughter is just this teeny little 5 foot tall thing, and she leaned up next to this guy, Gentle Ben, and I caught a picture of them together. And I'm telling you, that picture was it. Like, it changed me. And I sat down next to her, across from her later on, and over a vegan hot dog, and I said, Shaylee, I'm sorry that I didn't see what you already saw, and I promise you I will never eat another animal again. And the next day, she and I were both vegan because she had been vegetarian. And that was it. That was literally it. We started volunteering at that sanctuary. I ended up working there for a few months before moving here to Hawaii, and got to Hawaii, picked up our first rescue before we even saw our new house, picked up our next 2 rescues a couple weeks later, and it just blew up from there.
It's amazing how once you make that connection, how overwhelmingly emotional that can be. I know exactly what that feeling is for me. My wife had fallen in love with a cow, and she had always felt like she's got to the point she felt like a hypocrite because she was loving this cow but feeding other cows to our family, and finally she had enough.
Yeah.
And I wasn't on board. I wasn't going to be supportive. I was going to be supportive at home, but I was going to eat whatever I wanted when I was on my own. And it took me physically putting my hands on this cow, and in that moment, like, I got it. I felt his being, his presence, his soul, his spirit, and I knew at that moment that I was in. Mm-hmm. I knew that I could never do anything to harm him, and I made him a promise that I would do everything I can to try to help others change their lives and change their perspective and stop eating animals as well. So I
think when you make it about something bigger than your taste buds and your habits and your convenience and your wants and desires, it's one of the most easy things you can do. Honestly, I've never regretted it. I've never looked at a steak and thought, I can maybe just once, I just don't. It's just not a thing I do. And I put it all on that physical connection, like you said, with that animal, because, when do we ever really meet cows and pigs and chickens in our lifetime? We drive by them when we're going somewhere and we see the cows out in the field, but we don't put our hands on them like we do cats and dogs. So that it's so easy to not make that connection,
I think the industries have made it that way, so you don't make that connection. When you go to the store and buy these neat, tidy, clean little packages, you don't think about that cow or that pig or that chicken that, its life was taken for that.
No, it's a steak or a hot dog or whatever.
They don't want you to think about that, because most people, if you sat down and thought about it, what that animal goes through, none of us would support that.
No.
And, there are different things that trigger that connection for some people. Some people, it's watching a documentary, seeing what's going on. For me, I grew up as a hunter, but I saw some of those documentaries, but I still, I wasn't really, it didn't get me where it counted. Mm-hmm. And for me, it was absolutely going to a sanctuary and making that one-on-one connection, knowing that how could I eat a hamburger and pet my dog at the same time?
Yeah.
And that's,
I love that part in the Game Changers. I can't remember his name. He's a buddy of yours or something. The guy that saves. Yes, yeah. His part, I did not expect to cry in the Game Changers, and he actually really teared me up when he said that. This big man who's teaching men how to defend and save an endangered animal, then realized that, man, I'm such a hypocrite to save the rhino but go home and eat the cow,
Yeah, and for him to be able to make that choice, very powerful, especially when you're talking about trying to wake up more men.
Yeah.
You can look at him, because clearly he is a very dominant man, but he has been so intelligent and integral in the changes that are going on in the landscape of rescue in Africa. So they started Akashinga, which is a group of rangers that is an all-female group of rangers. And he said, no one wanted to listen to us. No one wanted to try this. No one wanted to even talk about it. And, him as a leader and as a human being is just an incredible individual. Yeah. I love his attitude. We got to spend some time with him in Chicago, and we've got some funny stories that are just, the more I get to know him, such an incredible guy. And
Yeah,
just
he seems like one.
I'm glad he was part of Game Changers, which I think is powerful for other men to see.
Absolutely.
What do you have? I know, you and I, we've talked that you've got a lot going on with your sanctuary. You guys are, to say you're busy is an understatement.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're very over ambitious, and I love it. Would you want to care to share a little bit what's going on with Big Island right now?
Well, when I started Big Island Farm Sanctuary, I wanted to do it a little bit differently. I wanted to make sure that I that my animals and what they needed and whatever was in my hands, was my responsibility, if that makes sense. I think that donations are great. I think that nonprofits are great, but we have a gazillion of them, and we have new ones every day. And people's money is so tight, and people have the charities that they love. So starting a brand new one from literally ground up, and then expecting just it to survive off donations, that wasn't going to work. For one, it was going to take a lot of begging, and begging isn't really my forte. And when I say that, I hope I never offend other sanctuaries or other nonprofits that are constantly asking for money, because like I said, there's a time and a place. But for me, it just wasn't me.
Yeah.
I feel like if I want to do this, if I want to have these animals and I want to rescue these animals, now it's my responsibility to figure out how to feed them. Kind of like if I want to have 10 kids, I need to figure out how to feed them. So I've always been okay, see, I've always been a businesswoman. I owned my first business when I was 20 years old, and I know how to make businesses profitable. And so, we kind of pondered with the 501(c)(3). We actually filed for it, and then we just went, nope, this isn't us. We're going to do this. And so we have some really cool business ideas. But another thing I want to say is that for me, again, there's a time and a place, and I think 501(c)(3)s are great, but you also have a board in charge of things. And I'm the one that there is with those animals 24/7. I know them like no one else will ever know them. So for someone else to have the ability to tell me that I can or can't save this one or help this one or do, you know what I mean? I wanted it all in my hands, and I hope that doesn't sound selfish. So financially, we have some really cool things going on, because while we do appreciate our donors, we know that things change. You might be able to be on Patreon 1 month and then you can't do it anymore. And so when you rely solely on donations, your money, it's just doing this, and that it makes it really hard to sleep at night. So right now we have, of course, Patreon. People can always join us on Patreon. $1, $10, $40, those are our 3 things. And each one of those has different perks. And, the biggest perk, I think, is that you become a part of our Ohana, our family. And we let you in on some background stuff that we don't always let the general public in on. We ask you guys for opinions, things like that. So it's just really a fun way for us to connect with those who want to be the closest to us. But the big money makers we're hoping are, we're in the process right now of building 6 tiny homes on the sanctuary property. They are 20-foot storage container homes. And we hope to have all of those up and running by March. We've got one almost done. We've got another one dropping next week. We do have a lady actually booked in January. We're super excited for that. So, we're starting. Yeah, we don't really have them listed, but it's a lady I know through social media, and we went ahead and booked her. So you'll be able to come stay at the sanctuary. We live on 25 acres of just amazing, beautiful oceanfront property. You see the sunrise in the morning, and you see the sunset in the evening. Each home is going to have a deck-top roof with a telescope. Out in South Point, where we live, is one of the most beautiful places to watch the stars. So if you're into that, it's going to be amazing. So those will be just a really affordable, fun little way to come down there and stay. We have 2 major attractions down there by us, which is Green Sand Beach. And then about an hour drive, we have Volcano National Park. And so I think most people are going to come in Kona or Hilo side, come down, stay with us for a day, see those 2 things, and then split to the other side of the island. And that's really what we're catering to. On top of those, we have our zero waste weddings that we will be promoting coming up. We're actually in talks with, I don't know if I should be throwing out names, but Carly Bergman and her man Brendan. They are the zero waste gurus, and they are hopefully coming out to Hawaii and going to come stay with us. And we're going to do a mock wedding, unless Brendan wants to make it real.
Get started.
But we're gonna do a mock wedding shoot with them because they're beautiful people, and so that'll be a lot of fun. And then we'll really get those up and going. I feel like I'm forgetting something, but one of the biggest ones, and I'm super excited about, because this will be 100% funding the sanctuary. The Airbnbs will partially go to the sanctuary, partially go to, the land and living. But the taco stand itself will 100% go to the animals. And it will sit out in front of our sanctuary on South Point Road. So as you're going down to the beach or leaving the beach, we are the only real meal on that road. You can get coffee and like a bagel or something, but we're the only real meal. And so what it is it's just vegan tacos, 100% vegan tacos in a little eco-friendly compostable box. They're kind of called a walk-in taco. You've got your Frito chips in there, all your taco toppings, and a compostable fork, a bottle of water that comes actually in an aluminum bottle so that it's 100% recyclable, and then you're on your way to the beach. So we're super excited about that. I think it's going to be a big thing, and if it really takes off, then eventually we would get a truck or a trailer and take it to events and do some things like that with that. So
when I said you guys are busy, that was an understatement.
Oh.
So
My husband has been here for 2 days, and I've barely seen him. Like, he works mostly on the mainland, and we're hoping that ends soon too. He's actually got some projects in his pocket that he's working on for him to be able to stay here, because most people don't know, but he works on the mainland. He travels the country, and he's only here maybe a total of 14 days a year. And I don't think anybody should live in Hawaii and be gone from Hawaii that much. So it's time to get him off the road. Yeah.
Well,
So
we're
he's got some
definitely
things that he's doing that are separate from what we're doing to make money for the sanctuary. So yeah, busy's an understatement, but I like it that way.
That's incredible, and I appreciate all that you do. And trying to straddle all that by yourself is an incredible feat. So thank you very much for what you do. I love when people have a dream and a passion about something, and then hell be damned, they're going to find a way to make things work. You obviously have a huge advantage with the location, because for a Airbnb location, like who doesn't want to go to Hawaii? So
right.
I've never been, so Becky and I definitely want to make this a goal of ours. So
yes.
we will definitely be in touch on that.
Yes.
So if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to. But I saw that today you were on your way to pick up another rescue.
Yes, we did. We picked up another rescue, and he wasn't a situation that was a sad situation or anything. He basically came from a family where she had too many, and she was afraid to put him up for listing because the type of animal he is, he would most likely be bought to be eaten. And you can meet him on Patreon, and that's all I'm going to say as far as what he is.
Absolutely.
But he was loved, and he was taken great care of, and she literally bawled her eyeballs out when he left. And so it was really hard for me because I'm a crybaby. But she knew what was best for him. And so, not every case we get is sad, and that's good. Sometimes it's just somebody who loved the animal and realized that it needed something different than what it was getting. We actually just took in 2 other ones. Was it even just last week? I think that they are definitely on Patreon. But that was the situation with one of them, was that this family loved them and just said, wait, he's not a dog and he needs to go be what he is. And so he came to live with us. So, not all the stories are sad ones. And this guy's not a sad one. So it's pretty cool. We don't have one of this species yet, so he's our first one, so that's exciting.
Okay. I haven't checked the page yet, so I'll have to go look. Oh, there you go.
My phone went to low battery. Sorry.
You know, when you and I are done talking, I will have to go check Patreon. So
Yeah,
I
I haven't stuck it. I haven't stuck him up there yet because I've been getting ready. I came right from that, got him set up, and then got on with you. But yeah, I'm gonna get him up there tonight.
I can't
So
wait to see what that is.
yeah,
So do me a favor, give everyone a shout out where all they can find and follow between Patreon, all your Facebook and Instagram pages. Where all can they
yeah.
pick you up?
Everything is Big Island Farm Sanctuary. So Instagram, Big Island Farm Sanctuary, Facebook, Big Island Farm Sanctuary, Patreon / Big Island Farm Sanctuary, and on the web, BigIslandFarmSanctuary.com. One thing I didn't mention, I told you I was forgetting something that we do is we do private tours out here. The private tours are about 2 hours long. They're $30 a person, and you get a free plant-based meal. Well, not free. I mean, you paid $30, but you get a meal when it's over with. But you get to spend 2 hours with the animals, and our tours are picking up, which is exciting because that goes right to my animals.
Yes.
And everyone that leaves is just touched, and that's, man, like, I feel like I have the best job in the world because I just get to do what changed my life. I get to do that every single day now. You know what I mean? And it's amazing. I had a girl that just came from LA, and she regularly goes to Farmer John's and a bunch of those vigils, and she's just worn down. You know, it's hard. You've been to some. They're tough. And she came out here and she hugged cows and she rubbed pig bellies, and she messaged me later and she's like, thank you. She's like, I'm re-energized. I feel like I can keep going and fighting. So I'm absolutely blessed to do what I do. I just truly, pinch me, like, or don't. Maybe I don't want to wake up. I'm so happy and blessed.
That is a great feeling. Meanwhile, I go to an office job tomorrow. So thanks for rubbing that in. But that's one of those things when you have a dream and you're going to do what you have to do to make it happen. So, bravo, hats off to you and Josh. And absolutely fantastic. So
let's do questions. Have non-vegans visited? Do you mind if I read these?
No, help yourself.
I'm going to go to the top and see if I missed anybody. Oh, look, my little girl Shaylee's in there. Hi, Shaylee. The one who changed me. And now I can't get her to move to Hawaii and help me with this place. Go figure. I keep telling her, come on, you can have your own tiny house. Nope. Okay, so have any non-vegans come before? Yeah, do non-vegans visit? They absolutely do. They absolutely do. I try to make sure that when I educate people, I do it in a respectful way, because if I'm an a-hole about it, they're never going to change.
Yes.
But when I start my tour, I start it with that story that I gave you. I give them the story that I ate keto diet, and I went to a sanctuary and I hugged a cow, and that literally changed my life. And even the non-vegan men will tear up. And so, yeah, I'm not going to change everybody. But yeah, non-vegans are absolutely welcome. I make sure their food is good so they can't be like, oh, this vegan food was horrible.
It always amazes me when I have one of my friends with me who's not vegan, and we go someplace and they try something that is vegan, and they're like, "Oh my God, this is really good!" And it's like, well, yeah, we like eating delicious food too.
Yeah.
The stereotypes of what some of the some of the bean burgers used to be. Those days are dead and gone. You don't have to eat stuff that tastes like cardboard. And
No.
if you want to talk about your health, probably should be working on a whole food plant-based diet for most of what you're consuming. And but there's so much vegan junk food, for lack of better terms, that is delicious and wonderful, and we love sharing that with.
Vegan junk food was my savior. If it had not been for that, I probably would have just died, because I wasn't going to eat the animals. But I hated vegetables. And so yeah, for the first year, Shaylee and I had the freezer packed full of fake meats. We were eating all of that stuff. And now I eat a lot cleaner. I actually just started today a 21-day Whole Foods plant-based challenge with Facebook, because I love my junk food. And so I'm really hoping to kind of clean that up for myself. You know, I went vegan for the animals. Now I'm trying to go healthier for myself because I think that, you know, I deserve that too. And if I want to be around a really long time to take care of these animals, then I got to take care of me. So.
Absolutely. And, you know, we were in the same boat. We went vegan for the animals, and being that we have a house full of kids, you know, we had to make sure we were feeding them things that they were like, oh, you know, I still eat,
Yes.
you know, tofu nuggets and different things from Gardein. And now, like tonight, you know, Becky made a tofu scramble. The kids just devoured it, and it's gone.
Yeah.
It's amazing how much better you feel. Like, you know, there are some people that don't understand the difference between a vegan diet and a whole food plant-based diet. You know, you can eat very unhealthy and still be a vegan. Which,
Absolutely.
if that's, you know, as far as I'm concerned, I don't really care. I would like to see you healthy and happy, but as long as you're not eating animals,
exactly.
we're on the same page.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, what else do you have going on today?
My husband's got some friends in from town, so I think that they're over at the sanctuary visiting the animals now. And what time is it? About 4. It'll get dark here in about 2 hours, so I'm gonna go home, feed everybody, get them locked up, and then hang out with his friends, and that'll be today.
Well,
So.
fantastic. Paula, I really appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy schedule to come talk to me. And, you know, I'm always excited when I hear about new rescues and new things that are going on, and I can't wait to check that out. So I will flip over to Patreon a couple of times tonight once you get that up. And
Awesome.
You are doing incredible things, and your story is very touching because I can relate to it. I know exactly how that feels to make that connection with a cow in particular. I wish more people would visit local sanctuaries wherever they are. I wish they would visit them and make that connection for themselves, because just like for you, it changed my life immensely, and I could have done it sooner.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. Hi, Brenda. Brenda named Piggy Smalls. He's doing amazing, by the way.
That is fantastic. Well,
yeah.
I will let you get to the work that you need to get done. But
okay. I have
thank you
2 things for you. One,
Yep,
I had something that I was going to give you, and then I was in a hurry to try to get a signal, and I left it at home. So I'm just going to send it to you. And then I want, Becky, are you there? I want you to open it live, or at least record it and post it. I want to see your face because I really wanted to see your face when I showed it to you, and now I'm mad because I left it at home. And the worst part is it was in the car this whole time, and I took it out to show it to Josh this morning, and so then it was in the house, and so then I got in the, so you know how that goes. So that's one. I'm going to stick that in the mail tomorrow and get that out to you. And it's just a little something from me and, you know, all my animals, because we all are in cahoots together. And just a way to thank you for putting us in this. There are so many sanctuaries you could have chosen. And it means the world to us that we were in the 4 that you chose. You know, you said it best when you said we're just tiny little sanctuaries. And, you know, hopefully we're not always tiny little sanctuaries. Hopefully someday we have the funds that some of these bigger ones do. But every dollar that people are able to give to us, and I literally mean every dollar, means the world. I like to tell people that, you know, on Patreon, I'm not going to donate $1. Like, that's dumb. What's $1 going to do? I'll tell you what $1 does for me. So that any of you guys who are watching are like, I can't do $1. That sounds so dumb. Every month when Patreon sends me my money, it tells me who paid. And I go through that and I look at every one of those names. I'm going to do that every month. Right now it's 43 names. I don't care if it's 4,300 names. I'm going to scroll down and I'm going to look at every one of your names and I'm going to smile, because when you send me money, whether you send me $40 or you send me $1, you are patting me on the back. You are giving me a hug. You are saying, hey, Paula, I see you and I appreciate what you're doing. Keep doing it. And so those dollars, and I know I can speak for those other 3 sanctuaries, they mean the world. They really do. So please don't ever think that your donation is too small, because it really isn't. And lastly, because now I'm rambling, anybody who comes out here to the big island of Hawaii, if you want to either come stay with us or you want to just come visit the sanctuary, if you mention the vegan sheepdog, I'll give you the special vegan sheepdog discount. So you just got to tell me that you heard about it through Chris, and I will hook you up.
Well, we greatly appreciate that. And, you know, I had a gentleman just before you and I went live, he made a donation to Project 41, which was a birthday fundraiser. He made a $10 donation, and he said, you know, I wish I could have done more. And the message, I will screenshot it to you so you can see it. I sent it to this gentleman named George. George, if you see this video, exactly what Paula said, that's one of the reasons why I picked Paula and these other 3 sanctuaries, because I know that the money is going directly to take care of these animals, to feed them, to house them, to vet care, and the appreciation that these women that are part of these 4 sanctuaries is just what you saw from Paula.
Absolutely.
So
yep.
I
Thank
appreciate
you, George, and everybody else. Yeah.
That is fantastic, Paula. I appreciate you sharing that, and I think it's very important that you brought that up, that how much you appreciate even those dollar donations, because
Absolutely.
it may be $1, but once those add up from multiple people, all of a sudden that's not $1. Next thing you know, that'll be $501.
Well, yeah. I mean, if you look at my Instagram following, we are at 1,000 something. We just broke 1,000 last week. We're I think 1,037. I think today. If every one of those people just, and I say just, donated $1, that's $1,000 coming in. That's feeding my animals. That's building enclosures for them, and that is, most importantly to me at this point, building a reserve for emergency vet care, because where we live, it is extremely expensive to go to the vet, and we don't have the kind of doctors or vets that they have on the mainland. So the ones that can help us with these big, large animals, they're pricey. So I would love to just have this big, huge, vet fund that just literally sits at the bank for those situations. So I mean, yeah, that one little dollar, if that were, 1,000 people committed to $1, that's $1,000.
Yeah.
So yeah, they add up. And like you said, I appreciate them. I know the other ladies appreciate them. George, we appreciate your $10, buddy, and all the rest of you too.
And I know everybody else does as well. So I've been blown away by the generosity from everybody for this. I'm just at $1,120 now.
Wow.
So a little over halfway to my $2,000 goal. And
That's awesome.
I hope that, if nothing else, I don't care if I get another donation or not. I hope that we send some awareness for each of these sanctuaries to be able to draw some awareness for you guys and support in other ways. So
well, I think you're doing that, and I think you're an amazing human being too. Honestly, for you to go out and fight the way you're fighting, and not be worried about stereotyping of not being a manly man and all that kind of stuff. You're fighting the big fight. You're fighting the fight some of us don't fight, and we need all of us. No matter what kind of activists we are, whether we're front lines or the sanctuaries or on social media or whatever we are, we all have a place and a purpose to change this world. So what you're doing is amazing too.
Thank you very much. And it's an uphill battle, because there are so many of us that have to fight every day for these animals, because it's not the norm. It's not what we were grown up and raised with.
Right.
So it's going to take every one of us doing whatever it is that you feel is important for you, or that you feel comfortable with, doing that every day, doing that to share that with your friends, your family, your coworkers, your neighbors, to get people to wake the hell up.
Yep. Oh, Becky, you're amazing too. Brenda, I love you too. Yay, Brenda, come visit. Sorry, I love to read the comments.
No,
I don't
you're
know
okay.
why.
That's important. I ask people if they want to ask questions, they should come on and they should ask some questions. So
yeah, absolutely. Awesome.
Paula, I greatly appreciate your time tonight. Tucking all those babies in, and make sure they're safe. Tell Josh we said hello, and I will catch you later.
All right, I'll see you over on Patreon.
Have a good one.
You too. Bye-bye.
So that was Paula Buck from the Big Island Farm Sanctuary, and you can see the emotion in her voice, in her face, how much she appreciates any support that she receives. She is a genuine fighter, animal lover, and someone who is going to do whatever they have to do to wake more people up. She's going to do whatever she has to do to take care of the animals she has, and to be in position to rescue more animals as that comes. So that's one of the reasons why I picked Big Island Farm Sanctuary and Paula to be a part of Project 41, which is a birthday fundraiser that I started for my 41st birthday. I have 22 days left. Today is day 19 of Project 41, and so far we've raised $1,120, and I'm just blown away by that. My initial goal was $1,000, and we were at like $800 8 days in, so I figured, you know what? I'm going to step up my game, and I'm going to ask some more from all of you. So for those of you who have already donated, thank you guys very much. I greatly appreciate that. Please spread the word. You never know who might be able to donate. Like Paula said, it doesn't matter if it's $1. It adds up. It goes to the pot. And on December 3rd, I will make a donation to For Them Sanctuary, the Cows Come Home Sanctuary, the Big Island Sanctuary, and Love Always. These 4 women are absolutely incredible, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have them come on and share some of their stories. I'm working on scheduling time with Nikki from Love Always, her and Marlene. I had to think about that a second. I'm going to try to have them on sometime next week, and then need to get Leslie from For Them as well to join us if she's able to do so. So 5 women, yes. Mahalo. Paula, thank you so very much. Yes, there are 5 women because Love Always. There's more than that. I mean, let's be honest. So, you know, if you talk about For Them, you can't talk about Leslie without talking about Suzanne. You know, Suzanne's one of those people that Becky and I are very fortunate to become friends with, and really appreciate all that she does, and her kind heart and her big smile. We're very blessed to have a lot of these people in our lives. So thank you guys very much for joining us tonight to talk to Paula from the Big Island Farm Sanctuary. Please visit gofundme.com/project41. Share, comment, and don't forget to donate if you haven't already. We appreciate all of you guys. Hope you guys have a good evening. I'm out.